Flash floods ripped through a Maryland city, destroying cars and properties and prompting emergency evacuations across the area. Authorities are still searching for Edison Hermit, a National Guard member who is believed to have been swept away in fast-moving floodwater. As VOA's Jesusiman Oni reports, the storm comes less than 2 years after a similar storm ripped through the same town, forcing residents and businesses out of their properties.
The streets looked like rivers.
The floor was flooded with water. Water was coming in through the wall.
Cars were swept away and people were trapped in buildings awaiting help Sunday as a torrential downpour ravaged Ellicott City, a community just outside of Baltimore, Maryland. The damage, residents say, is devastating.
You could tell everyone is just heartsick.
For some, it feels like deja vu. It's been less than 2 years since a similar storm ripped through the community, leaving 2 people dead and several businesses permanently crippled.
It was incredible. So many of the businesses did come back, and some didn't. And now with this happening so close again, we're going to have to watch that all over again.
Sunday, residents saw many storefronts and buildings severely damaged, including those that had only recently recovered from the 2016 flooding.
Total unbelief that this could possibly happen again and even be worse. And people just are numb. They're literally heartbroken. We don't know how to deal with this.
The relentless downpour disrupted most Sunday plans, but one bride and groom still managed to tie the knot even after evacuating.
I married the girl of my dreams. We're just happy everyone's safe.
As authorities assess the damages, it's up to the residents of Ellicott City to pick up the pieces and decide if they can start to rebuild all over again. Jesusiman Oni, VOA News, Washington.
When Junior Small lost part of his arm in a car accident, it limited his ability to perform simple everyday tasks like eating and drinking. But now, a special prosthesis has not only improved his movements, but his confidence and overall quality of life. VOA's Julia Taba has more.
Cutting up food may be a normal everyday task for most of us, but not for Junius Moore, who lost part of his arm in a car accident. He gets help from a prosthetic arm called the Luke, which helps him perform movements more easily by reading nerve signals from muscle left after an amputation.
When I think about closing my hand, it'll fire certain muscles in my residual limb, and the prosthetic will learn that means close hand.
Named after the Star Wars character Luke Skywalker, the Luke arm is the first fully integrated prosthesis with a powered shoulder, elbow, and hand that work together as one unit.
Anything previous to the Luke arm did not have a powered shoulder. So anybody that had a prosthesis at that amputation level would literally have to use their other hand to position the prosthesis on that side. Now, as a result of the Luke arm, somebody at that amputation level has full control of their prosthesis without having to use their other arm to position it.
Moore wears a device under his prosthesis to ensure signals are properly routed from his muscles to the device.
Junius has had a procedure called targeted muscle reinnervation, which takes the nerves that used to travel down to the missing limb and reroutes that information to residual muscles that are still there.
What's amazing about the Luke arm is that they've replicated the function of the human hand. The Luke arm is the first prosthesis that allows for 3 different motions in that hand. One is open and close, one is to be able to rotate your wrist back and forth, and the other one is to be able to flex and extend your wrist. This is an unheralded amount of function in a prosthesis that has never even existed before.
Moore says his new arm has done more than just help to improve his movements.
Obviously there's the functional aspects and there's the social aspects of it. My wife says I stand up straighter these days, and it has helped, instilled more of a sense of confidence.
The technology that's helping Moore can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the hope is that it will eventually be available to anyone who needs it. Julie Tabo, VOA News.
In the wake of the Dapchi kidnapping, Nigerian activists are calling on lawmakers to investigate the multi-million-dollar Safe School initiative and how the funds have been used. Organizers tell VOA the bulk of the funding has gone to transferring 2,000 students to schools in safer zones and creating schools within internally displaced persons IDP camps. Chika Odua visited IDP camps in Maiduguri.
It's a normal day in chemistry class for these junior high school students. But when the whistle sounds, everything changes. This is a safety drill. Students are practicing what to do in the event of potential danger. The drills only started this year. 17-year-old Mohammed Tijani helps lead them, simulating the sound of a bomb explosion.
When the bad people that are come, we make to practice things that we do to protect us to the bad people.
Tijani is referring to Boko Haram, the terrorist group which emerged in Maiduguri and declared war on the Nigerian government 9 years ago, has repeatedly attacked nearby locations. But they have yet to attack this school, and the administration hopes to keep it that way. This is why they hold security strategy meetings here. The Nigerian government and donor agencies established the Safe Schools initiative in 2014 after the infamous Chibok schoolgirls abduction. The program helps pay for school security training for educators like Principal Kolozana. But she still has to raise money to pay vigilantes to guard the school.
I'm going to feed them. With the small amount we have, the remaining small that we collect, we will feed them.
This school, the oldest in Maiduguri, has been attacked at least 3 times. There are no guards posted at the front gate, and this reporter was able to enter the campus with no questions asked. Boko Haram killed the principal and another educator in this room a few years ago. Today, the only protection from another school attack are 2 elderly volunteers guarding the back gate. And at this nearby primary school, despite security measures, at least 5 teachers have already left out of fear.
Boko Haram is still a threat to school in Maiduguri. It's a threat to teachers and even the community. Apart from the teachers, the students, the parents in their own community, they don't want to send their word to schools because of these situations on ground. And there is no mark for Boko Haram. You cannot trace this person is a Boko Haram also.
UNICEF has directed $9 million towards the Safe Schools initiative to enhance security in classrooms. Most schools are pleased with the renovations, but teachers at Galti Marie Primary School say the walls of their school need reinforcement. While Nigerian police have been dispatched to some locations near schools, educators and students worry about their safety. One day, the students say they hope to go to school without fear. Until that happens, teachers and students are counting on these drills to keep them safe. Chika Odua for VOA News in Maiduguri, Nigeria.
Four years after Nigeria launched the Safe Schools Initiative SSI, schools in Maiduguri are holding emergency safety drills for students. Much of the multi-million dollar for the program has gone towards building higher school walls and other preventive measures aimed at stopping the insurgency group known as Boko Haram. Despite the measures, many children are still risking their lives to get the education they need. Chikaudua reports from Maiduguri.
The Buni Yadi School. This is where members of the terrorist group Boko Haram murdered 59 students in February 2014, just 2 months before the now infamous Chibok schoolgirls' abduction. What happened here was called a massacre. Students were shot, others were burned to death. But life is slowly coming back. The Nigerian government has ordered renovations to the school, but getting building contractors to work here is a challenge.
Contractors will not readily go to these areas. This, at the end of the day, add to the cost of ensuring that these projects are implemented in these areas, because the risks are huge.
$30 million was reportedly raised for the Safe Schools initiative started in 2014 to help secure schools and coordinate humanitarian support in the northeastern region where Boko Haram continues to operate. Frustrated by the ongoing attacks on schools, activists are demanding to know how money for the Safe Schools initiative is being used. Earlier this month, Nigerian lawmakers suggested a probe amid allegations of mismanagement. Even educators have been critical of the Safe Schools initiative, which is backed by UNICEF and foreign governments, including Germany and Norway.
It is unfortunate up to now they have not done anything for us. In terms of providing some security measures to be taken in our schools, maybe they may come in the near future to start maybe fencing some of those schools or providing some security equipment to us, but up to this moment, nothing has been done. It is only the state government that is providing all these things to our schools.
SSI officials say most of the money has been used to transfer students to safer schools. More than 2,000 in all, including students from Buniyadi, who now attend another school 160 kilometers away from home. Boko Haram literally means Western education is a sin. The group ignores Islamic schools, but has destroyed nearly 1,400 Western-styled schools, killing more than 2,000 teachers. Thousands of children are now being schooled at internally displaced camps managed by UNICEF. These IDP schools have also had to adjust to the ongoing violence.
The original idea of a temporary learning space was exactly that, temporary, with the expectation that after a couple of months, the students will go back home, okay? But now they are staying.
Which means school structures like this are being converted to this. These IDP camp schools give kids like Habiba a chance to continue their studies and to forget the violence that brought them here.
I just like playing with my friends whenever I come to school.
These students don't know how long they will have to go to school in this camp, but what they do know is that here is safer than home. Chika Odua for VOA News, Maiduguri, Nigeria.
A man in Poland turns medical equipment into a musical instrument. Wooden tongue depressors used by doctors to examine mouths and throats are popular for making artwork. But an amateur musician spent 6 months turning 1,300 pieces of wood into a working electric guitar. Arash Arabasadi reports.
This craft project is probably unlike any you've ever seen. Maciej Walaszek is an amateur Polish musician who turned more than 1,000 wooden tongue depressors into an electric guitar.
Cała gitara jest wykonana z 1300 patyczków.
The whole guitar is made of 1,300 sticks. It is glued together in layers, and the body is hollow inside. The body has 22 layers, and the fretboard 36. Only that it is glued in a crosswise direction. It makes it more durable. The only wooden thing that is not made of spatulas is the fingerboard, which is made of plywood to make the whole thing look cool.
Walaszek spent 6 months cutting and gluing sticks he bought from a local pharmacy. He built a working electric guitar using the basic hardware at his disposal.
I did not use any heavy tools to create the guitar, as I simply did not have access to them. All the spatulas were cut with a normal paper knife. The whole shape was made with the use of a drill, hand planer, sandpaper, and nothing more. That is why it took me such a long time.
The true test of Velashek's countless hours building the guitar comes when a guitarist picks it up and plays.
I am shocked. It is unbelievable. I am impressed that you can make something like that out of tongue depressors. It is in tune, it plays, its fretboard is straight, it just feels right in your hands.
Now that Velashek finished building this unique musical instrument, the amateur guitarist will need to learn how to play it. That process may take some time, but considering he spent half a year custom building the guitar, the hardest part may already be over. Aras Arabasadi, VOA News.
And that's all we have for you right now. Thank you for watching. Have a very pleasant day.
मती दर्जा होदा अफरातक रईसु जमहूरिया देवा खास इनाम उमियहरु देवुमा हम जिफवनी हतरु गिनतियको एगी तेरेगा हिमेनेनी देव राज्य के कौमी सनतक ओनिगण के एम मती लेवल सरदे PhD हासिल कुरुमगा फाहगा कुलबे कामयाबियन हासिल कुफवु मती तालीमा तमरीन कोहकुं एम मती वन होदु بين الأقوامي مورزكون نوتا مباراتكون نوتا مينوم بس بين الأقوامي من كرمكون إمي ماتي ونا نوتا شرف هودو راجع دماغ فوا مهم مسألة كان حل هودم كقطون إيجاد نوتا أفيد من أفداعين نوتا علمي